Hello and welcome to Carmen Miller's Talk of the Town, Fort Mill, Tega Cay. I'm your host, Patty Mercer, standing in the Tega Cay Baptist Church Community Garden. Let's find out what they're digging up. And this community garden actually sort of began through something you discovered in your ownership of Breadsmith.
We donate all our breads at the end of every day to different charities. And so we get a chance to meet a lot of people who work with people in need. And one of them is Sun Ministries. I don't know if you know Kim Vincent.
Yes.
But in working with Kim, one of the things she's always said is everyone donates canned goods, but they never get fresh vegetables, fresh produce. And so my wife Lisa and I were talking, and we're like, we should do something as a garden. And Tega Cay Baptist Church has this land, and it was just sitting here. We haven't built yet. So we're like, let's see if we can do something with that land. So we talked to the leadership of the church, and they said yes. We put in a well and just started digging. And we went and visited a bunch of the gardens up in Charlotte and had a chance to see how they were set up. And got a group of people that would help and have had fun ever since.
I understand you were part of the original group that got out here and got this started.
Yes,
How long ago was that?
3 years ago.
About 3 years ago.
About
Yeah, I think we've
3
had
years.
3 seasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the third.
Yeah, and how did you know about this? How did this idea come to pass?
It was actually Lisa Daubenspeck who wanted to do something and for the community. Our church had this land, and she thought she loves food and she loves gardening, and so went before our church leadership, and they said, yeah, go for it. So we incorporated Joe and Joy Jenkins, who have a lot of know-how, and the 3 couples basically were the ones initiating, but lots of people have jumped on board right from the beginning.
How would you compare the 3rd year to your 1st year?
Much easier.
Yeah?
A lot more volunteers. The ground is much better. Things we have it set up in such a way that we know what we're doing a lot more. So the produce is coming in better. We have our partnerships set up with distribution because we grow it, but someone else gives it away.
Now, who are some of your partners?
Well, the main person we're working with is a community cafe right here, Don Murphin and his team. They get the majority. Again, Sun Ministries, Fort Mill Care Center. So those are the 3 that we primarily work with. And honestly, anyone who's here that knows of anyone in need is welcome to take it and bring it to them, because the whole idea is to get out and say, share God's love and say, here's something I grew. I thought of you.
Our goal is to give fresh things to people who couldn't necessarily either afford it or access it in any way.
Now, how many plots are out here?
The plots would be all the way down the side here, around and down the other end.
Okay, so
And
maybe
this-
40 plus?
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah.
And then the middle section here and all at the bottom is the community portion.
Tell me more about what we would see growing in the community garden. Besides these beautiful sunflowers,
Yes.
my favorite.
Yes. In the community part itself, we have the tomatoes, melons, green beans, zucchini, crookneck squash,
Sweet
butternut
potato,
squash,
Watermelon, cantaloupe, those
corn,
kind of things. Yeah.
a little
That's
bit
amazing.
of okra.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you can plant anything you want in your own little plot.
Volunteers are welcome
Yep.
at any time.
And encouraged.
And encouraged. You also
Because it gets a lot
have
of picking.
plots available
Yep.
for maybe those that don't have the space, the knowledge,
Yeah.
too many deer,
Yeah.
hungry deer.
So when we did this originally, the idea was, again, a percentage was community, a percentage was anyone who wanted a plot. And in the first year we had, I think it was about 20 people, and we're just under 50 right now that have personal plots.
So an individual, family, or a person who wants to come down and say, take this plot right here. We rent that for $20 a year. And
What? Wait,
And
what? $20 a year.
Yeah.
That is like,
But they have to come and work, I mean.
well,
for that-
yeah, I mean,
But that covers the electricity for the pump. We have a
that
water.
is so
we have
great
a well
though.
here.
I had to come over here and see because your garden is gorgeous. How much work have you put into this garden, Jackson?
A lot.
A lot? So tell me about the kind of things that you do here.
We weed, we water, and We pick a lot.
You pick a lot. Well, that makes me want to know what you got growing in your garden.
Well, we have squash, tomatoes, zucchini, and we have peppers. Peppers. Eggplant.
Cucumbers.
Yeah, and some beans.
Wow.
Some okra.
Oh, yum. You don't have to have your own tools.
No.
You know, again, just like sometimes we don't have the space, we don't
Yeah.
have the space in our garages either to store everything that's required.
And it's not only tools, it's expertise. There's a lot of people here who really are good gardeners. So people will come up and not only have the hoses, the rakes, the shovels, the wheelbarrows, but they'll come along and say, hey, you know, you're doing this, maybe this would do a little better.
So this garden is the community garden is just fantastic to avail to us to have a great garden here and plenty of sun and
Yes.
good soil and little hard work and get a lot of veggies.
This is for everybody. Anyone who wants to come and help, like you said, no expertise necessary. If you just want to come help pick, anyone who helps in the community brings some home for themselves as well as if they want to share it with others. So we try and recognize people's hard work so that if you don't want to have your own personal garden and just want to come help us, come have, you know, a dinner's worth of green beans on us, some tomatoes, you know, nothing better than a fresh tomato on a sandwich.
We would welcome
Yes.
kids working on projects just to be here. And I mean, there's different people in the garden who know a lot. I mean, they've grown up in this area. They've grown up on farms. We have a lady over here that's growing peanuts this year. We had 2 Indian ladies growing rice last year. So it's just
Very diverse.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pulling him away from Minecraft at home, bringing him out to the garden is the way to go.
It is fun, isn't it?
Look at that sweat on his nose.
Whoa! And how do we get a hold of you if we want to learn more about the community garden?
The best way is the email address, which is tcbcgarden@gmail.com. Because that goes to an email that we always check. Otherwise, we're up here every Saturday morning, Tuesday night, and Thursday night. So you can just come and ask anyone who's here.
Well, that's it for this edition of Carmen Miller's Talk of the Town, Fort Mill, Tega Cay. To learn more about Fort Mill or to see beautiful homes in our area, you can simply go to homesfortmill.com. But when it comes to planting a garden and caring and sharing, you can do that with your family or you can do that with a community of family here at the Tega Cay Baptist Church Community Garden. Until next time, this is Patty Mercer. Bye-bye.